Hey, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. This week we're going to talk about how to zero the aim point on your rifle. All right, now step one, decide, hey, do you want it 50, 25 meter zero? Doesn't matter, pros and cons of each. Matter of fact, if you want to hear our opinions, we've got another video on Tactical Rifleman on just that, the 25 versus 50 meter zero. So let's say we're going to do a 50 meter zero. We're here set up on the line. Keith's got his sight already mounted on the gun. Now on that, I want to note, make sure your aim point is properly mounted. Okay, it actually sits inside of a ring, and we've seen them backwards on the guns. That's kind of obvious, but one thing a lot of guys don't catch, and I don't know if you can catch this on the camera, but this scope is canted a couple degrees in the mount. All right, this was taken off of a student's gun, and it is actually canted a couple of degrees. It's red dot sight. Does it really matter? Yeah, it matters when you're making corrections to the sight, because instead of it moving straight up or straight left, it's going to move up at an angle. Pain in the ass to zero. So make sure you zero your sight correct. All right, next thing you want to do is you want to dim that dot on that target so that you can just barely see it. It's going to give you a finer point of aim. Go ahead, dim your dot, Keith, so you can just barely see it. All right, now he's ready to shoot that first set of bullets. Let's say you just zeroed your iron sights. All right, if you just zeroed your iron sights, there's a technique called co-witnessing. What you can do is actually look through your iron sights, line them up on the target, and then you can actually dial your red dot to those iron sights. That's going to get you on the paper. Your zero will be very, very close doing that. All right, Keith has already done that. We're all set up, so I'm going to have him fire that first shot group. Before he does that, I want to point out he has a very stable firing position. All right, some people prefer to fire with that hand up on the front of the gun. Go ahead and show it, Keith. All right, that's fine. Make sure you've got those good points of contact. All right, hands up underneath, but his elbows are still set on the ground. We prefer what's called a sniper hold, where he'll run that support hand back onto that bicep. He still has good point of contact up here on the rest, which can be a sandbag, or in this case, a good solid rubber block. But he still has good support, both elbows on the ground, and with that hand back on the bicep, he can raise and lower that hand, keeps it set properly in the shoulder, and it will allow him to make real fine adjustments for raising and lowering that sight picture. All right, so once he's got a good stable position, we're gonna have Keith go ahead and fire a 3 to 5 round group. All right, now we're gonna go downrange and we're gonna check that target out. All right, so we'll come down, we're gonna look at Keith's target. All right, pretty good shot group, not bad. I always like to circle my bullet holes. That way when we start shooting more, I can tell which one's already been shot, and then I close the group and I number it. All right, now on this particular thing, remember we're using red dot sights that have a half MOA adjustment. You can use your regular M16 zero target. You can use a piece of paper with just a couple of pasties on it. But this is a particular target. This one's, they have them for 50 and 25 yard zeros. This one's made by Armor Dynamics. You can get them at armordynamics.com. You can also go to arrifle.com, a bunch of different websites, and you can download printable targets. When you do it, make sure you download ones that print to scale, that are actually designed for proper printer paper. Cheap, no need to buy nothing fancy, but the cool part about using this one is it actually has the correct numbers down the side for our half MOA adjustment sights. So, all right, we see a shot group. We're gonna move this point of impact left 10 roughly, and then we're gonna move it up, roughly 10 again. So we're gonna go up 10, and we're gonna go left 10. All right, we got it, we know what our correction needs to be. Now we're gonna go back and we're gonna go dial them into the sights. All right, so we've gone down range, we've checked the target, we know what adjustments we need to make. Adjustments on the aim point, easy. Pull your caps off, windage knob, elevation knob, windage knob on the side. Now they've got big flat screwdriver heads on them. You can use, they say you can use a casing from a bullet. A lot easier if you use a regular screwdriver, you know, mutt, or just bring a dedicated screwdriver. Make the adjustments. Now the adjustments for Aimpoint per the manual is 3 millimeters for a 25 meter zero per click, and 6 millimeters for 50 meter zero per click. Genset basically works out to 1/8 of an inch at 25 meters and 1/4 of an inch at 50 meters. You're looking at a half MOA is basically what you're looking at. So I've got the corrections I need to make on his. They've got nice pretty arrows on them. Turn it in the appropriate direction. Oh, sorry, Keith. All right, now all we're gonna do is we are going to repeat those same steps. He's gonna fire a 3-shot group. We'll go down, check, mark the target again, and we'll repeat that process till we have him zeroed. All right, so we just made the adjustments to Keith's rifle. We had him send a next shot group. All right, if you take your time, you do correct adjustments, you're gonna have a gun that's correctly zeroed. Doesn't take a lot of rounds, people. All right, so great shooting by Keith. This weapon's zeroed. You can kind of tell the guy's been to a couple of sniper schools, and you can tell he was a sniper as a Green Beret for quite a few years. Good shooting, but how about if you don't know exactly what the adjustments are on that sight? All right, you might have an off-brand red dot sight. Let's talk about that next. All right, so let's say you got an off-brand red dot sight and you're not sure what the adjustments are. You know, they're not written on the dials, let's say. Don't freak out and go digging all over the internet trying to find and download some manual. You're gonna run it the same way. Just after you shoot that first shot group, you know you need to move it away. Just this time, make bold corrections. Instead of going a little bit at a time, what we did was we went 10 clicks, right? 10 clicks down, 10 clicks left. And all right, we went too far, but at least now we have a set unit of measure, okay? If that's 10 clicks, cut it in half again, right? So if that's 10 clicks down, 10 clicks over, all I'm gonna do again is cut it in half, and yeah, I'll probably be over here, but you see the method of the madness. If you don't know what what the individual correction notches are, clicks per whatever, it doesn't matter. You run it the same way no matter what brand these red dot sights are. All right, so we've made our adjustments. We had him confirm it. He's right in the center of the target. We got exactly where we want him to be. Now, got to remember, this is 50 meter zero is what we're shooting. This is to represent that 200 meter zero downrange. So we now need to go out to that 200 meter range and confirm this. If we get out there and we start banging left or right, hey, we make fine adjustments and we'll be fine. This, guys, is basically how you set up and zero a Aimpoint scope. If you got any questions or comments, be sure to leave them below. Thanks for watching.